Man, if working out is your life, don't watch this anime. Welcome to Sakamoto Days. This action anime is all about kick-ass fighting, good hearts, and a fat guy that hits harder than your entire family lineage and the future put into one. You know Baki? Fodder. King and Ashura and King and Omega? Fodder. The humans in this anime, I swear to God, are all on Yujiro level simply by being born. Also, before we get any deeper, I'm going to put a spoiler warning here, so don't come at me. Watch it before this video now. Pause off YouTube now. Go to Netflix, watch it. Alright, enough blabbering. Let's yap about this world of non-human humans that hunt other humans that are classified as human because they were born human, but something doesn't really seem human about them. Sakamoto Days is a story about this guy named Sakamoto that was a hitman in a world where being a hitman seems to be damn near publicized. He was the best of the best, being listed as the #1 in his whole time of being a hitman, and even being in the Order, which is basically the 10 Commandments of this world. Well, Sakamoto fell in love with this lady, and had this daughter, and wants to run this shop in peace with his family. Obviously, in a crime world, you don't just leave a criminal business without consequences, so people from his past come to disrupt his peace and put his family in danger. Obviously, part 2, Sakamoto won't take this lying down in the name of his family, so he retaliates and fights for his freedom and the safety of his loved ones, even recruiting some of his old friends and some newer people he meets as he tries this kind of pacifist run. There we go, main plot out of the way. So now, let's get into the meat. Okay, so the main purpose of this video, why do Sakamoto days be scaring me? This dude, Sakamoto, has been out of the game for 5 years, gained so much weight, and can still move like this. Sakamoto tanks explosives like he's running PhD Flopper, reads the direction of ricochet sniper rounds, is smart enough to sniff out shapeshifters, and has enough strength to hold the top half of a tower. Now, before I get into the rest of the characters, I'm gonna nitpick something here. The humans here are all born human and all that. There's no like other species or anything. So everyone in this anime is human. But there are some characters that have these abilities based on some kind of experiment or enhancement to their body. As I know of now, Kashima and Shin are the best examples. Kashima is a cyborg who's a few chords away from me just calling him a full robot, and Shin was an experiment to become a superhuman, and from that, he now has clairvoyance. I will point out something that I heavily like that the author did. Even though these characters have these like superhuman or inhuman enhancement or abilities or whatever, it does not put them on a tier of their own. Like, Kashima Sakamoto dog walks in their fight, especially when he goes skinny moto, then it's not even a challenge at all. Shin, for a while, kind of gets carried by Sakamoto, until he, like, evolves his clairvoyance into a whole kind of time prediction thing, which is just super clairvoyance. But even then, it didn't boost Shin's stats. In that fight, he was still he was hitting him with the same strength and all that, but clairvoyance, the future prediction, burnt out. And also, some of these things that these characters do seem like an ability, but at least it hasn't been stated or anything like that specifically that it's an ability. So Sakamoto losing the weight, that was shown. We know that that's not an ability. Sakamoto literally sheds the weight, goes back to skinny mode, and then just gains it right back. Nagumo, his shapeshifting is a bit weird, but from what I know, it's not an ability. He's just a professional level illusionist. This is also why I said if working out is like your life, you dedicate a lot to it, don't watch this anime, because working out is a fallacy in this world, I promise you. Let's go over Sakamoto holding the tower. In his fight with Apart, Sakamoto hits him out of the top of the tower and they land on the beams. Apart decided he wants to take the tower down in a moment of self-mental annihilation, so being the good-hearted person he is, Sakamoto grabs elevator cables and holds the tower up for a minute. The mathematics and the physics of this situation, don't ask me about that, I don't know, but what I do know is that Sakamoto has some, like, impossible strength. And if he has the strength to hold this thing up, the devastating attacks he lands throughout this series make a lot more sense now. However, that also has to make you think about the people he fights. So let's use Slur for an example. Slur goes fully head to head with Sakamoto and doesn't lose either, and Sakamoto admitted to Shin that he lost control because Slur brought up his daughter, Hana. So we know Sakamoto didn't hold back against Slur. When it also comes to like the really strong characters to bring up, you have the Order, which is a good one, but we've only seen two of them fight in the anime from what I remember, and it wasn't a fight. It was really a murder. So Osaragi didn't show any ridiculous strength feats besides splitting multiple pillars in her last attack to kill dump, but what was really scary about Osaragi is her subconscious sadism. I don't know if she's actually sadistic, but I'm telling you, she has to be. She literally grabs Dump's head and slams her face on the edge of these bricks. Now, you don't have to have inhuman strength to send someone to the Golden City doing this. This can very easily crack someone's skull open. Oh, she also feels like no pain. Osaragi caught one of Dump's spikes in her hand, literally, and then pushed her hand down more on the spike. Why? Nagumo, on the other hand, is a max level troll and literally just clown minimalist in this fight before killing him with his utility knife of the gods. Seriously, his weapon is a huge weapon with like 6 different weapon heads. It's like a flip blade of death. Why? What would you need? Oh. Not only does he have every weapon for every occasion and one weapon, the thing is as big as his body, dude. And Nagumo just flings it around and spins that thing like a fidget spinner. Nagumo dances around minimalist for the whole fight, makes him roid rage out of his mind, gets bored, and then decides to end the fight just by rolling a dice to decide which out of the 6 weapons will take his life. And that's Nagumo's big thing. He's a rage baiter, he's a troller, he's a funny character, but he's like most definitely a shit poster on Reddit. That's without a doubt. Before I get to the strongest character in the show so far, I want to bring up Gaku and Slur. And Slur we know much about, but I'll make this quick. So, Slur is the main villain and was in the same class as Sakamoto when he went by his actual name Uzuki and was killed by Sakamoto for some reason. I have good reason to believe it was Sakamoto, Nagumo, and Uzuki in the same class because Nagumo seems to know who this is. But Uzuki is a monster of his own though. Being able to go toe to toe with Sakamoto, this tells you that he is above most of the characters we've met so far that wanted Sakamoto dead. Not only is Slur enough of a powerhouse to go toe to toe with Sakamoto, his planning and intelligence is insane as well. See, he broke the prisoners out of jail so they would hunt this list he gave them of people that he needed dead so he could begin his attacks on the Hitman Corporation, the JAA. And on that list were the Order members, but Slur knew they wouldn't even be able to test it. He also made sure that even if Kashima failed his mission he gave him, the plan wouldn't be affected. And Slur put a sleeper agent in the JAA waiting for him and Gaku to finally begin their attack. Slur has Sakamoto level of strength and speed, smarter than any other character so far. I don't even see why he needs other people. Now Gaku on the other hand is Slur's secondary muscle. Gaku is a man-child in the sense of his nature and habits, but oh fucking boy, does Gaku know how to kill people. I haven't seen enough to really compare Gaku to any of the important characters, but I can make reference points. And the biggest one is to show how vicious he is. Gaku was leveling out the lower floors of the JAA building until he finally got to Slur and Sakamoto and the others by himself. But all of these floors have trained hitmen, by the way, so he may not be fighting people with powers or order level, but he is still fighting John Wicks back to back to back to back. Gaku has an insane weapon. He has a meat tenderizer, basically, with a cannon on the top. Who thinks of this? Who? Finally, everyone else out the way, now I can bring up the most feared character in this show besides Sakamoto, the Phantom of the JAA, real name Takamura. The hype build-up around Takamura was insane, and I can see why. So Takamura fought in the fight between Sakamoto and Slur, but was also responsible for splitting one of the feet of the tower to help Sakamoto pull it back into one place. So going back to the fight between Sakamoto and Slur, in the fight between the group, Sakamoto group, and Slur and Gaku, Takamura shut everybody up before he even arrived. Slur sensed his bloodlust, and then everyone sensed it and stopped moving, puzzled by who or whatever the hell could have that much hate in their entire being. Takamura then makes everyone convinced that it's the Grim Reaper itself by using his katana blade to stab through the door and push the handle down to open the door. I haven't read the manga yet, but I'm pretty sure at this point in time, Takamura is definitely the strongest character in the show. When Takamura simply arrived, Slur told Gaku, like, we need to go, we need to get out of here, or we didn't think he'd be showing up. So, besides Takamura having some very terrifying strength, he sat in front of the sleeper agent that Slur sent in, and ate a huge explosion to the face. And after the explosion, he was like, nothing happened. It did not break this old man's stride at all. Like arthritis be damned, he did not rattle at all. Now let's put it on comparison to Sakamoto. Slur was absolutely on the same level, keeping up with Sakamoto, and got a nasty cut earlier in the fight. So for this entire room of 3 damn near order level characters, Sakamoto, Slur, and Gaku, Takamura himself was enough to tell everyone maybe we need to take a step back. There are many other characters in Sakamoto Days that we're waiting to see go crazy in the anime, but of course, that will take time. But in the meantime, I will be reading the Sakamoto Days manga and stay on the lookout for other things that grab my attention. But this video is something I wanted to make because I love the line in anime and manga of human, inhuman, and superhuman. Either way, Sakamoto Days is a fire anime and I'm willing to bet an even better manga, so go check it out for yourselves. But I'll see you guys in the next one. And until then, Beanie Hoodie out! Can Sakamoto beat Goku though?